Welcome, my name is Tisha with Sew Creative Lounge, and today we are going to learn how to change your needle. Alright, so before we get into actually changing your needle, there are a few things I do want to go over. You just need some basic tools. Some of it may have come in your sewing kit, and you may not know what it looks like, but it's actually a screwdriver. It doesn't look like your typical screwdriver, but it is. However, if you can't find yours, just look for something like a dime or a penny. Trust me, it will make sense later. You'll also need some extra sewing machine needles. Now, one of the questions that we get a lot, do you prefer a particular brand over another? And personally, I do. I find that Smith's needles are amazing. They hold longer. They have a diversity of sizes and the different types of needles. So that's going to be in another video in itself. However, there's tons of needles out there, so buy what's in your budget. Singer has great needles, and when you purchase them, you can actually purchase them in small quantities, which is really, really nice. So if you don't need like 15 needles in one case, then if you want something really small and you're not sewing every day, something like Singers are just as great, and they pretty much are universal. The beautiful thing about when you buy the Singers, you can get them in knits and woven needle packs, so they come together, which is pretty cool. And that's going to be in another video about knit needles and woven needles. But today is all about how to change your needle. So now that we've gone over the basic tools that you need, let's talk about, well, why do I really need to do that? Why are you telling me this now? Because it's going to maintain the maintenance of your machine. If you change your needle, at least every garment that you make, just change your needle, dust it out, clean it out and everything. Your machine will last you probably will outlive you if you take care of it. So that's one of the important things of changing your needle, because it does get dull. And like most sharp things, they get dull over a period of time, and it's time to trash them. Sewing machines are pretty cheap on the market, and they're meant to be disposed of, just like disposable plates. Your needles are meant to be, once you use them for a period of time, to be disposed of. Now, how do you dispose your needles properly? I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the trash can, and I've scratched myself because there's a sharp object in the trash can. So just take care of yourself and take care of whoever's taking out your trash. Make sure you put your needles, your disposable needles. I'll pretty much keep a old, I'll say like a medicine prescription jar. Just store them in there. You get enough of them, and then toss them out, so you won't have any scratches on your legs. So the other thing I want to talk about is why you should change your needles, and all the other reasons about what I talked about earlier. Another reason why is because of your garments. Now, if you don't change your needle, you'll find that it may pull at your fabric, depending on what kind of fabric you're using. Sometimes you'll see this in silks and satins, very fine garments, where if your needle is dull, it will snag your fabric. So you don't want that either. So it is important to change your needles. Change your needles. Change your needles. So let's go ahead and change our needle. All right, so here we are. We are ready to change our sewing machine needle. So as you can see, our sewing machine needle is still in the machine right here. Okay. And right beside my sewing machine, you will find that I have a screwdriver, my little mini one here that goes with the brother machine. I also have a dime here. So if you lose this piece, just go ahead and put a dime or a penny in your sewing kit, and that way you'll always have it. So I'm gonna use either one of those. And I also have an extra needle here, okay? And like I said, I really prefer Smith's needles. And so this is the Chrome Professional grade. They're really strong, and they last much longer than my other needles. And so this is a basic size 14. All right, so let's come back over to where our needle is. And as you can see, there is a little device. If you take your eye from your needle and come all the way up to the top, there is usually a little screw right here, and it usually hangs out on the left side of the needle. And so you want to take your dime or screwdriver and place it right in there and loosen it up. Now, when you do that, you want to make sure that you are holding onto your needle so it doesn't fall into your sewing machine. So I'm going to hold onto my needle, and I'm just going to turn this once or twice just to loosen it up. And there go my needle. See how easy that comes out? Beautiful. So before you take this needle and dump it in the trash, you want to go ahead and put that in a piece of fabric or a container that's disposable. Okay, so do not just throw this in your trash. So I'm going to take the other needle, which is my new needle. Now, if you'll notice that one end of my needle is thicker than the other, and on the thick end there is a flat side, and so the flat side of that top is going to go up in that hole of that sewing machine. And let me take a look here. There we go. Now it's back up in there, and I want to hold my needle in place because you should go all the way up. Once you've done that, go ahead and tighten up that screw. And if you need your screwdriver, just to tighten it up a little bit more. Not too tight, but just tight enough. Ta-da! You have officially changed your sewing machine needle. Congratulations. Alright, so now you have changed your sewing machine needle. And as you can see, I've taken my old one and I just put it in an old piece of scrap fabric. So it's actually covered in something. So again, make sure you're disposing of your sewing machine needles correctly, okay? And the other thing I want to point out to you, another quick way, especially if you're traveling with your sewing machine, another great way of having a needle on hand quickly is store one on the back of your sewing machine. As you can see right here, we have an extra needle and a dime or a screwdriver back there so that we can move quickly and much more efficiently. So if you're traveling with your sewing machine or you just need to have that nearby quickly, put one on the back of your sewing machine just with a piece of tape and you're good to go. Well, I want to thank you for coming and watching our video, and if you have any questions, please reach out to us. And if you're missing any of your sewing notions and you need some sewing needles and all that good stuff, just reach out to us at SewCreativeLounge.com. And we'll see you in our next video.